Okay, this is our tennis station. The first one is our popcorn and dribbling station. Now we have two groups. Group 1 right here that has their balloon and racket, and then group 2 that's going to be sitting at the cone. Okay, so we have two choices. Now first, Nicholas and Jemima are going to find a dot to stand on, and they're going to do their best. Nicholas, move over just a little bit. They're going to do their best to stay as close to that dot as they can. So they have two choices. They can start doing popcorn. Go ahead. And they can hit it up high like Jemima's doing, or they can hit it soft. But they're going to do their best to try and stay close to the dot. And then another choice they have is they can dribble the balloon. So let's try that. Just like basketball, they're just pushing up and down. If it gets away, they're going to try and go back to their dot and just continue. And notice Nicholas got away, so he's going to pick it up. He's going to keep continuing from that dot. Now I will say stop. When I blow the whistle, they'll put everything down on their dot neatly. And then they are going to have, that's group 1, they'll go sit at the cone, and then group 2 will come out and they will pick up their racket and balloon and they will get started. Go ahead. And that is popcorn and dribbling. Our second station is our volleying station. Again, we have group 1 holding their balloon and racket. Group 2 now, again, is sitting at the cone. So all we're doing is we're practicing hitting the ball against the wall and having it come back to us. So go ahead and start. It's bouncing off. And they're just hitting it back and forth. Now if the ball gets too far away from them, then they'll just pick it up and they'll go back to the same spot they were hitting from. Notice Paris is staying in the same spot. Jay's staying away from her. Now Jay's getting a little too close, so he's going to pick up his balloon, go back to where he started. And we're just trying to stay close to the wall and hitting it back and forth. And then switch. So they'll put their balloon down. Group 2 comes out. Group 1 back to the cone. And then we can go ahead and start. Go ahead. And that is volleying against the wall. Our last station is we're practicing hitting it back and forth to a partner. Now this is kind of like the wall station, but instead of Jemima hitting it at the wall, she's going to be hitting it to Nicholas. We have our rope, which acts like our net, so we're just going to be hitting it back and forth. So right now when Jemima's ready, she's going to go ahead and serve it over, and Nicholas is going to try and hit it back. They're just doing nice soft hits. If it hits the ground, we just pick it up and we continue. Switch. We put it down. Group 2 comes out. We're just hitting back and forth with a partner. Back up just a little bit, Jay. There we go. And that is volleying with the partner. This is aerobic tennis. We have a 2-on-2 tennis match. Boys on this side, girls on this side. We have our net in the middle. Instead of our jump rope that we were using yesterday, we're placing a net in there. And we have poly spots on the ground. That's our out of bounds line. And then behind the boys, we have our black line, which is going to be our out of bounds. Now 4 people are playing, and then the other 3 people are behind the bench, waiting to come in. One way to get out in aerobic tennis is if you hit the ball past the poly spots. Go ahead, Alyssa. There goes the balloon. drops past the poly spots, that means the girls would have to go to the bench. Another way to get out in aerobic tennis is if you hit the balloon on the ground on the other team's side. Go ahead. If it touches the ground, of course the girls would have to go to the bench. Okay, another way to get out is if our tennis racket goes over the net to the other side. Go ahead. If you notice, Annette's racket is reaching across the net. She cannot do that, so they would have to go to the bench. Okay, another way to get out is if we do popcorn. So Annette's going to hit it up. Alyssa pops it a few times. Once she gets ready, she'll take her swing. And she cannot do that, so of course the girls would have to go to the bench. Okay, another way to get out is if we do not let the other person on our side hit. Fernando thinks that he can do all the work, and he doesn't think Xavier can hit the balloon, so let's see how that goes. So Fernando just keeps popping it up. Xavier just stands there, and Fernando decides to hit. Can't do that, Fernando. So boys, you have to go to the bench. Here is round 1 of aerobic tennis. Go ahead and start. Don't be shy, hit it hard, hit it down at them. And that balloon went out of bounds, so the girls would put their rackets down. The next 2 girls would come out. And so since the boys won that match, they get to serve the balloon. Go ahead, Fernando. And that went out of bounds. Daniela was smart, she didn't touch it. And now Alyssa has a new partner. She was with Annette before, but now she's with Elizabeth. Go ahead, Daniela. Hit it hard, try and get them out. And that landed behind the black line, so these girls would go to the bench. And now Xavier and Annette are partners. They are completely different from the team they had before. Oh, and that was a good shot. It hit the ground, so now these girls will go to the bench. Who hit that? Was it you? And yeah, and so Annette did hit that on the ground, but she didn't reach over the net, so good job. Okay, so Xavier, go ahead and serve. Oh, but what did Fernando's racket touch? It touched the net. So this team, even though they scored a point, they still have to go off. The net's going to wait till the girls look ready. All right, we're good. Oh, nice pass, Elizabeth. Uh-oh. So obviously it hit the ground, but it hit the ground on their side, so they would have to go to the bench. And that is aerobic tennis.